I've just been on 12 meters, put a call out on CW on my straight key, and 9 Yankee 4 Delta in Trinidad and Tobago came back to me. And that's on my internal fan dipole antenna. I do think the straight key attracts people though. I've noticed that quite a lot recently, especially ex-commercial operators will hear it and will want to come on and speak to me. But I've made a little change to my station, which might be of interest to other people who own an FT710. When I had the FT450D, I used a MAT30 tuner, and that allowed me to tune my antenna on 30 meters and 15 meters, which are bands that it actually isn't resonant on. And although it wasn't perfect, it allowed me to get on there from time to time. When I bought the 710, the MAT30 tuner wouldn't work with it because Yaesu have changed their setup for the way the data is transferred to tuners. I tried the AT200 and that didn't work either. They do make a MAT30 version now that does work with this radio, but I wanted to go to something that was a bit heavier duty. So I looked around and basically there aren't any external ATUs that will work with this. The internal ATU does not have sufficient range to be able to handle some of the loads that I'm looking at. I decided that I would try a tuner that was not dedicated to the radio and didn't take band data from it. And it's worked out incredibly well, and you can see it sitting here. It is an LDG AT200 Pro Mark II, and I will show you how that works. So here it is in the rack. This tuner has got two antenna sockets on the back, antenna 1 and antenna 2. When it's switched off, it defaults to antenna 2. So I've got my aerial plugged into the antenna 2 socket so that when it's even powered off, it works on the bands that it's resonant on. So when I want to work on other bands, I press that button there. Although it's got no band dedication, it's got memories, so it knows that I've been on this frequency before and it will just automatically switch over to that. In theory, this tuner will run the full 100 watts through it for tuning, and it can do that because it knows that the radio is going to fold back and actually produce less power. But the best way to do it is to press the mode button on the radio, select AM, press transmit on the PTT, and it already knows that it's fine on that frequency. So what I'll do is I'll try it on a different one. So I'm picking a frequency that I know that the antenna is not resonant on. And what I need to do is press mode, select AM, and then press the PTT switch on the microphone. And this will give me a small amount of RF and it should tune. You can see that it's barely registering there on the SWR. It's under 1.1 because it's flashing there. So it has in fact tuned up perfectly well on 29459, which is not resonant anywhere near there. So it does work. And the next time I go back to that frequency, it will have memorized that. The other good thing about this tuner is that if the SWR goes above 1.7, then it will start to do a manual tune again to try and improve that. You can set it to only tune when you put RF into it and press the tune button, but the default setting is that automatic setting. So I think this works very well with the FT710, and it's actually the best solution because it's a pretty rugged device. It's got the antenna switch. You can switch between antennas. If you were to press that, it would go to antenna 1. But when it's off, it's just antenna 2 straight through. So most of the time it stays switched off and I turn it on when I need it. It's a very elegant solution, simple to use, and it does a good job of tuning the aerial as well. So I hope you found that useful if you're an FT710 owner. And 73s from GM4 SVM.